Welcome to the pre-match show presented by the Brian Birds Home Selling Team. Score the best deal on a home with the Brian Birds Home Selling Team. Visit brianbirds.com or call 915-751-1500.
Blackout night at Southwest University Park. Tonight's opponent, Las Vegas Lights FC. This behind-the-scenes tour of the locker room presented by GECU. Wednesday night soccer in El Paso as both Locomotive and Lights come into this one on short rest. A pleasant good evening to you, Duke Keith, alongside Heidi Mocha, Rachel Phillips on the pitch side as well. We'll be speaking to Rachel shortly, but Heidi, out of the frying pan into the fire for this Locomotive team looking for its first points of the season.
Absolutely, Duke. And the Locomotive, we've gotten to see some really good moments in these first two matches, and we've also got to see what they're trying to do. But availability, that has been a big part of this story. So during preseason, they lost about a week due to COVID and have had a lot of early injuries. So that can really affect the team chemistry. Now, fortunately, there's some players that are coming off that injury report that are going to be available. But we're going to be losing a few players to international duty.
Yeah, 4 to be precise, as we take a look. Diego off with the U.S. men's under-20 national team for a pair of friendlies in Argentina. Eric Calvillo representing El Salvador. Midfielders made 4 appearances, most recently played in 2 matches January for World Cup qualifying. Siobhan back with Grenada, where he has 4 goals and 30 appearances. And after tonight, Cristiano Francois representing Haiti, making this his 4th international call-up. And while Locomotive FC will miss these guys this evening, it just goes to show the quality on El Paso's roster, Heidi.
Absolutely, Duke. So to your point, El Paso, along with Indy 11, both have 4 players on international duty. That's the most players of any USL team. And these guys are getting minutes in these matches, so great experience for all of them.
So now El Paso has holes to fill, especially in midfield, as they host Las Vegas Lights. Not a lot of history between these two teams, only 3 matches total, 2 in 2019, 1 in 2021, but Locomotive FC has 2 wins in the series. Even so, with positive results in the past, this is not the same Lights team as from last year, Heidi.
Definitely right, Duke. This is a club that's coming off a huge win against Phoenix Rising last Saturday. Some are even calling it an upset. So their attack looks strong against a very talented Phoenix team that's always atop the table. So the Lights will come in with a lot of momentum looking to build off that win. And for El Paso, they will be looking at finding ways to break through the Lights' defense and convert on those chances that they have been so good at creating. But it's also a limited roster for Locomotive. So we'll see head coach John Hutchinson rely on academy players tonight. But moments like these are where someone needs to step up and seize the opportunity.
Speaking of, some younger guys getting a chance to showcase their talents. We will definitely be discussing the academy throughout the evening. It's Wednesday night soccer headed your way next. Locomotive FC versus Las Vegas Lights.
Thank you for watching the pre-match show presented by the Brian Birds Home Selling Team. Score the best deal on a home with the Brian Birds Home Selling Team. Visit brianbirds.com or call 915-751-1500.
Time is running out to beat that January price increase and not pay double. Act now and get Yellowbird Solar, AC, and a furnace for just $75 a month. That's right, for $75 a month, you get refrigerated air and solar that drops your electric bill to almost nothing. But you must act now to get this year's tax credits and beat that January price increase. Get solar and AC and drop your electric bill for just $75 a month. Call yellowbirdsolar.com. Tell them a little bird sent you.
Hey, where are you? American Furniture Outlet's now open.
I'm here.
Just in time. Speed Queen washers and dryers starting at $10.99.
I can't believe they're only open 10 days a month to save me money.
Get an all-leather sofa for $14.97. Matching love seat also on sale. Or get this queen or full-size bed for $3.97.
I can't wait.
Clearance and discontinued items up to 77% off. 12 months interest-free financing. Now open until March 19th.
Open.
Southwest Chiropractic, serving El Paso area and relieving pain for more than 20 years. Not only do we treat auto, sports, and work-related injuries, but we also treat scoliosis, sciatica, back pain, disc injuries, chronic pain treatment, and we even manage stress. At Southwest Chiropractic, our patients are seen the same day. We provide gentle and effective care, and we accept most insurances. Schedule your appointment today and let us relieve your pain. With 3 convenient locations in El Paso, Southwest Chiropractic. Your health is our well-being. Call us today, 915-581-9619.
Welcome to Southwest University Park. Las Vegas Lights FC in town to take on Locomotive FC. Duke Keith along with Heidi Mocha as we take a look at the starting lineups. First for the homestanding Locomotive FC. Trying to earn their first points of the season. For Locomotive, it's not often that the return of Lucho Solignac could be overshadowed by anybody, but the debut of Diego Abarca has got to do that. Just 16 years old, Heidi. He's in the starting lineup, his professional debut, as we take a look at Locomotive back to front. And in the playmaking role as well, alongside Dylan Maris, big things expected of the youngster. We'll see how things go. I'll be talking to Rachel Phillips a little bit later on. For Las Vegas Lights FC, this is a team that is surprised. They want to call it an upset versus Phoenix Rising FC with a 2-1 win for Las Vegas Lights, but not really, especially when you've got a guy like Danny Trejo playmaking. He's the USL Championship Player of the Week, Heidi, as they're about ready to kick things off here at Southwest University Park.
Absolutely, and so they're coming off that, what, like you mentioned, what's considered an upset. And the Locomotive, though, you know, Coach Hutchins says he knows how we want to play, and they just are ready to get started. It's great to see Lucho back, to have that striker, our 2020 leader in club goals from last year. Oh, 2021, excuse me.
Indeed, and dyed platinum blonde. There you go. right coming into your living rooms. It's a good thing it's not 3D. But Lucho is something he did, I guess, as a youngster. Decided he wanted to make it work, and apparently we are all lined up on the wrong side of the pitch. The keepers are in the right place, or are they? No, they're not.
Nope.
So, Locomotive
There
FC.
you have it.
I've never seen that before. Interesting.
I guess it was maybe white was home and black was away, and they flipped him on.
Don't know what it is.
Keepers, maybe. The
Evan
refs
Newton.
pointed them to the wrong end, maybe.
Little fist bump with Tomas Romero, who's the starting netminder for Las Vegas Lights FC. Everybody's lined up properly. And we are just about underway here at Southwest University Park. Lucho Solignac, first touch of the ball to get us started this evening.
I guess last week was the first time he has not started or been in a match for at home, so he wasn't sure where to watch the game from, but he knows where to start from tonight.
Absolutely. Richie Ryan, Andrew Fox, up to Maris, trying to get that one for Cristiano Francois, who will leave tomorrow to join the Haitian national team in World Cup qualifying. Good jump in the early going for Lights. Jorge Almaguer. Almaguer again. Back and forth with Alvaro Quesada. They'll elect to go back to Dekel Kanan. Veteran Israeli. What Richie Ryan is for El Paso, Dekel Kanan is for a very young Lights FC team. And how about Francois winning that one? The back pass contested. Good work, though, to recover by Alejandro Lara for Lights FC, but it is an El Paso throw. Speed kills Cristiano Francois. Whipped in by Fox into the box. Kanan clears. We take a quick look at the referees. In the middle tonight, Brandon Stevens. Our AR is Karsten Gilwald and Mark Novotel. Fourth official is Christian Campo Hernandez. Good work by Andrew Fox, and Locomotive earns a quick corner. Chick-fil-A corner coming up for Dylan Maris. Richie Ryan out in case Maris wants to play it short. In swinger to the far post. Getting into the mix on there. Going to keep away, and that's going to be a foul on them there to give the Vegas Lights a free kick. Take a look at our Casa Auto Group keys to the game. Heidi, what are you looking for tonight?
Well, Coach Hutchinson talks about he wants them to be more aggressive, and more aggressive it is tonight. He said Saturday he wants to come out here, and you know, it's a quick turnaround, but he expects to see his side be aggressive to try to score. Do whatever it takes to get the ball in the back of the net. Then avoid allowing face-up play. So Vegas has a couple guys that are very capable in 1v1 situations. We've got Cal Jennings, Danny Trejo, and both can be solid on the ball as they try to get up and into the final third and then control the game. New Mexico slowed down the pace quite a bit last Saturday. That's not how El Paso plays. Expect to see them moving the ball quickly and pressure the Vegas defenders.
That's actually kicked into touch by Tomas Romero. By El Paso, and here is Kane on the back pass. Romero. Well done to get it up the left wing side. Daniel Masovsky. Lambert called upon again. We'll go back to Kanon and reset. Tried to probe up that left wing, found nothing. Good pressure by Lucho. Martin Bjorschol. Taking off the ball, Cristiano Francois again from Maris. Francois 1 against 2. Well dealt with. And here is Alejandro Lara clearing it out of trouble. Locomotive wanting to be dangerous up the wings. Brockbank. Richie Ryan wearing the captain's armband tonight. Here is Brockbank. And there's the first touch by Diego Abarca. 16 years young. Great switch, Francois. Good skip on him. Tries to work it inside, and it'll be popped out for a corner. Bjorschol thinking the better of putting that anywhere back into the mixer.
I know. That you don't see that a lot with just a easy touch over the end line.
Diego Abarca, 16 years old, as we have our Chick-fil-A corner kick. Here's Ryan. Maris. Ryan, nice serve to the far post, but lots of white jerseys nearby.
Yeah, we got, there is again another touch. And that's the thing, when you first match, your debut, there's always going to be a little bit of nerves and excitement. You can't help it. But you just got to focus on what you can control, For warm-ups, go back to what you do to prepare for every match. And then, you make your first touch. If you make a good one, great. If you don't, just make sure you track back. Keep getting back with your man, look up. You do the things you can work on, the things you can control, and then the rest of it will kind of fall into place.
Trying to work that no-look pass with Sanupe, and certainly
and
kid's got some touch of the ball. That's what he's known for, and playing in Diego's main role as a playmaking midfielder.
Right. And then, I guess, how did he learn about he was going to be starting this match? He was at school. 16-year-olds, he's at school, so he gets a call, calls his parents, and then, how about then you have to go back to class?
Oh, yeah, you're starting this Wednesday. Time for history, kid. Andrew Fox fights that one off, nicely done. And John Hutchinson, the head coach, pulled the young man into the office and said, hey, take a look behind me. I've got the starting lineup. Just have a look. And his name's on it. And Diego Abarca saying he had no words. Absolutely speechless. But Dominic Casciato, the Locomotive assistant coach, said, that's not a lie. It's not a joke. And that's how he finds out. Then go back to class, kid. Francois again. Francois earns a third Chick-fil-A corner kick, giving Bjorschol all sorts of fits up that left wing. Dylan Maris on to take this one. The third member of our team, Rachel Phillips, has some insights on young Mr. Abarca's debut. We'll get down to her in a bit. Again, Ryan there for the short corner if they elect to do that. But Maris, in swinger to the far post. Again, dealt with by Lights. Musovsky. Sanupe. Brockbank earns the foul. A little bit of a late call, but the foul is called on Almaguer.
But this is quite a few corners in a row that the Locomotive have gotten. This is
then it's all Francois up that left wing.
Yeah.
There's Richie Ryan setting it up to take it on the right-hand side for Locomotive's attack. Harris running over. Ryan to the far post. Lucho with his first touch and headed over the bar for another Chick-fil-A corner. Desperate defending by Lara as he and Fox tangle in the back of the net. But solid work by the Lights defense under pressure.
That's a nice ball over by Richie. Oh, Lucho just kind of skips it over, and then, I mean, Foxy is if that's not commitment to try to get to that ball, I don't know what is.
John Hutchinson, this is what he wants, though, from Locomotive FC, and certainly the opening minutes of the match, he's getting it. You talked about it being hyper-aggressive.
Yeah, I think he also was saying he just wants, like, them to be ruthless at both ends, but especially, like, have this desperation of getting to the ball in the 18, getting it into the box, getting in the back of the net.
Jerome, a little shove on the pressure from Dylan Maris. Too far ahead. Diego Abarca, 16 years old. Of course, his dad, Jose Abarca. I called his name a few times working with the El Paso Patriots back in the day, signed to a USL Academy contract. He's a junior at Canutillo High. And it's amazing when you think about it at age 16. I mean, I'm sure you were probably a little older with your professional debut, having played college soccer, but still, it's something to be a professional in a match. What is that like?
Oh, yes. And, you know, talking about this and thinking about talking about this tonight, I was like, gosh, it's almost like a whirlwind, you know? Like, you remember having excitement and nerves, but you're like, I'm going to make it through, and that was, like, amazing, but it's also just kind of surreal, you know? And then I'm sure he's hoping to build on this and have this long professional career, but it's a pretty amazing thing for 16-year-old, but he's getting to be out there and play with, you know, guys in training also. So now he's getting to put that into a match.
And how did he find out? Indeed, we talked about it a little bit. John Hutchinson calls him into the office there at the Locomotive training facility, which is right next to Canutillo High, by the way. Said, hey, kid, take a look in behind me. That's the starting 11 for a Wednesday night's game. And his name is up there.
And he's a little unbelievable. It's
That
not
is
a joke,
amazing.
right?
And then he calls his dad, Jose, who told him to shut up because he didn't believe him. And then his mom, congratulations, mijo. Outstanding work by Lights to get loose up the left wing. Trying to control that Estrejo. And in tight. Flag is up. Actually, it's over the byline, and it'll be a goal kick. And let's bring in Rachel Phillips now, the third member of our team. Rachel, you've had a good look and listened to the Locomotive bench. How have they responded? Is he getting direction, Diego Abarca? What are the thoughts down there?
Yeah, Duke and High, just an awesome story for Diego to get his debut here tonight. The bench has been quite vocal with him, and so has he out on the field. When he came out in warm-ups, he was surrounded by some of the most experienced players, Richie Ryan and Lucho, right in there with him. Lucho actually doing all of the training and preparations with him before the game. And then right before the whistle, right before the game started, Dylan Maris has actually pulled him aside, two of them in center field, just having a bit of a chat before the game started. And as you've seen, he's kind of fit in right away into this game.
Boehner. Thank you very much, Rachel. Here's Sanupe trying to find in the middle. Lucho didn't miss by much, but just a little off target, and it'll be a goal kick for Lights FC. But it's great to see this from Locomotive FC, not just Diego Abarca, but there are two other players on the bench tonight from the Locomotive Academy, Noé Coutinho and Diego Garcia. Go, Diego, go. We've got two Diegos to choose from to replace one Diego off with the national team. How about Lucho standing in front of that? It'll be a Lights throw. But, I mean, John Hutchinson has been all over this Locomotive Academy, and especially with Locomotive in kind of a need for qualified players. He is very appreciative of the academy that Bob Bigney and the Locomotive youth soccer folks have built.
Yeah, he is integrated and allowed the academy players to train with the first team. He even had 7 academy players that have been traveling to preseason friendly. The preseason friendly in Boston, players from the academy are on the bench for the matches. They've been available for all 3 matches, and today, one of those academy players is starting. So, I mean, he also, Coach Hutchinson relies on, the experienced players to kind of bring in and get the younger players familiar and get them that experience and help them to feel comfortable. And, that's invaluable to where the club can go and the growth of the players.
You talk about having a Richie Ryan who's on the pitch and Yuma who's on the 18 and on the bench. We'll be talking to Rachel Phillips here in a little bit more about their role. But here is Francois. He takes it off the right foot. And let's send it down to Rachel with more info on that aspect of things.
Yeah, Duke and Heidi. I mean, Hutch was saying that he just feels comfortable giving these young guys a well-deserved opportunity because of those experienced players behind him. That's why Hutch is our quote of the match tonight. He says that Diego has been doing really well in training and proving that he is ready for a chance to showcase his talents. He has had a really good preseason, and he's fortunate to be joined by players like Richie Ryan and Dylan Maris supporting him in the midfield. Actually, just yesterday, Richie Ryan pulled him aside at training, the two training together, and Richie talking him through how he can be dynamic out on the field here tonight for the Locomotive in his debut.
I like the way Rachel says debut.
Debut, yes.
A little Australian, for that is the way they say it down under. Hey Rachel, this is your debut was on Saturday night. How are things down pitch side for you this evening? A little chillier tonight than it was Saturday.
Yeah, Duke, definitely a little chilly. I got the big jacket on here tonight. I kind of wish I bought some gloves too, but a lot of energy down on the pitch. You can see John Hutchinson right in the action. You can see that he's also pretty happy with how aggressive they're being hit tonight. That's really the key that he wanted to see tonight compared to Wednesday night. They just weren't as aggressive there last Saturday as what they were against Sacramento in that opening round. He said that's the key tonight, is be aggressive from the get-go, and that'll create those opportunities for them, and then hopefully those opportunities will turn into some goals.
Good shot of Evan Newton, Virginia Beach native. You talk about keepers being a little older when they kind of come into their own a little bit. Field players 26, 27, 28. Good dangerous play here by Lights. And that is a shot just wide into the netting by Danny Trejo. Great little give and go to get loose up the middle and up into that 18-yard box. USL Championship Player of the Week, a goal and an assist. Native of Morelia, Mexico. Cal State Northridge, played his college soccer there, 58 appearances. Signed a professional contract with the Los Angeles Force in Niza, which is where he had his professional debut just a couple of years ago. So, I mean, it's wonderful that there's so many places now for players to find a spot and get that professional debut, whether it's NISA, UPSL, NPSL. And here's a good carry. Great cross into the box, and it's just wide. Excellent work by Cal Jennings up that right wing, but the offside flag is up regardless. Wouldn't have counted had it gone in, but Jennings didn't miss that service by much. Jennings, the Atlanta native.
Yeah, and Jennings, when he gets the ball, he likes to get going and get upfield. He was a factor in the win last week, the other day for Vegas.
Trejo, a little upset that Jennings didn't run a little harder for that, I think. It'll be a throw in for El Paso.
But El Paso needs to make sure they don't get caught in the transition. Stay organized, so.
And Lights, certainly a high line here as they come to pressure. El Paso in their own end. Can you play out? It's a good deflection. And a foul. And Cal Jennings just picked up a yellow card. Has to be for dissent in just the 17th minute. Free kick coming for El Paso. So Cal Jennings with word for our referee tonight and picks up the night's first yellow in just the 17th minute of play. Wonder what he says. That's out. Lights throw coming. Gives us an opportunity to tell you, celebrating its 75th anniversary, select proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship. Choose what you play with at selectsportamerica.com. Select League's Choice, Player's Choice. Kind of a disjointed few minutes here on the pitch at Southwest University Park, Las Vegas Lights. A little more pressure applied. Better possession. Locomotive trying to get things restarted their way. Lada over everyone's head.
Yeah, and the Locomotive, when we had that run for that first part of this half where we were just down in the attacking end over and over with just a wave of chances. So now it's kind of settled down a little bit, but you know, I'm sure what Coach Hutchinson wants is to get back at that pace, get forward again.
They get it to Francois, but he has to go back a step. Again to Boehner. And to Newton. Boehner the open option. And here's Andrew Fox. The Englishman up to Francois. Trying to get it settled. Couldn't do it, but a great switch to Sanupe. Sanupe working one-on-one. Nice pullback against Quesada. In. But out. And another Chick-fil-A corner for El Paso.
And I like how, you know, Locomotive have been mostly down that left flank, and now they're drawing more attention on that side. Instead now, get it central, switch fields, and now we get to see all of the talent that Sanupe has that he showed off in the last couple matches.
Well, it's blackout night for 8th notch here too. The flags are waving. The sounds emanating from section 105 is Richie Ryan. Ready to wave that left wand. In swinger, far post punched out. Romero got there. Then it was good on there in the vicinity along with Andrew Fox. Timely keeping. In transition, Musovski. It's taken away. Well done by Dylan Maris. Zionsville, Indiana native. Happier than he has been in a while, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Isn't he?
Yes, he likes his role this year, and I know Diego Luna is not in with him tonight, but he's enjoyed playing up high with him and not really kind of filling 4 different roles like he had last year. And I tell you, he looks fit and he looks, you know, hungry.
Sanupe, bit of a switch, he's on the left wing. Francois comes to cover. To Fox. Midway through the 21st minute is John Hutchinson, always involved. Dylan Maris, our Southwest University player profile, opened his account versus New Mexico. How about that? Almost 90% passing accuracy. And of course, his 7 assists last season. Fit and ready and happy to be where he is right now.
Exactly.
And Locomotive, certainly loving those playmaking midfielders. They've got a good one in number 10. To Fox as Maris takes the contact. Francois. Maris still slow to get up. Francois from the byline trying to cut it back to Lucho. Again, good intervention by Lada, and now we have a stoppage in play and another yellow card coming. The foul in back. Jorge Almaguer picks up the caution as he took down Maris. Referee plays on, and in the 22nd minute, it's 2 yellow cards in 5 minutes for Vegas. Let's take a look. There's Almaguer stepping into Maris. Well done by our referee. Plays advantage, and Locomotive does wind up with a little bit out of that. Kanon pressured by Lucho. Francois, slow roller. Never got off his foot squarely, but how about Lucho?
I know.
Ready to eat. Long ball out of the back. Well dealt with. Brockbank clears his lines. Kanon skipped up on him.
And I'm sure, what I understand is Las Vegas likes to play out of the back, but they're not afraid to also play the ball long if there's that opportunity, and that's how they got one of their goals the other day. And knowing that that can be a challenging part area for the Locomotive, they're not going to be afraid to try to play that transition or long ball.
Kanon certainly sent one up the way there, looking for Danny Trejo. The flag is up. Offside is the call, and Locomotive with a restart. Here's Andrew Fox. The USL Championship on ESPN moves into April. San Diego Loyal SC welcoming Locomotive FC. Early season showdown that's happening Sunday, April the 3rd. That is 3 p.m. Mountain Time on ESPN Deportes. First time those teams have faced off with each other. Maris turning. Francois. Again the challenge. Cristiano Francois pulls it back and finds Ryan. Brockbank. Sinupe. Kanon gets an important intervention. Sinupe. That's going to be a foul on Emmanuel Sinupe as he undercut Quesada going for the ball. Englishman coming up through the Tottenham Hotspur Academy. There's some real pedigree. And again, you talk about 4 players playing for their national teams, including Diego with the under-20 U.S. men's national team. I don't recall. I mean, soccer's come so far, and we talk about Jose Abarca, who was Diego's dad, playing for the El Paso Patriots. I could not imagine then second division soccer would have 4 players playing for a national team from any one side, much less an entire league. We'll talk about that more, but here's Francois again. Lucho! That is carried in, and just at the last, Omar Romero gets a piece.
And that was a great by Locomotive to push the pace, get that ball up, and try to get the Las Vegas on their heels and almost grab a goal there.
How bright, though, has Lucho looked as we see Francois doing his thing. It was Quesada with the deflection.
Yeah.
Here's Ryan, in-swinger. Kanon gets a touch. Sinupe trying to control. It was actually Bjorshol. Ryan again. Over Maris's head. Comes, though, for Abarca. Great work. Fox! And that's lifted wide. Chipped away by Las Vegas Lights. Another Chick-fil-A corner.
Locomotive, though, they are being ruthless. They're keeping every ball alive. And Andrew Fox, what a strike to get over that ball and keep it down.
The pressure is on. Dylan Maris this time. In-swinger to the far post. Lights gets ahead to it, but here's Fox. Far post again, looking for Lucho. It'll bounce high. Here's Maris. The reset. Francois has it taken away. And a foul call. It's a good bit of defensive work, and Cristiano Francois will get the yellow card. We're in minute 27. Still a little slow to get to his feet, Danny Trejo. USL Championship Player of the Week for an impressive 2-1 win at Cashman Field for Las Vegas Lights. On paper, that's an upset, but Lights look pretty decent, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
And here's Kanon, with so many youngsters having the 37-year-old to be a part of things to settle it down. We said before what Richie Ryan and Yuma are for El Paso. Kanon is for Las Vegas. Jennings gets a foot to it, but no control. Back to Jennings again. Number of those black and blue jerseys out there, though. Good sidestep, Abarca, showing the skill to dribble out of trouble. Good work by the 16-year-old. You see John Hutchinson's trust rewarded. Word is John Hutchinson, when the youngsters train at 7 o'clock in the morning. How about Sanupe, that sidestep? When the youngsters are out on the pitch early morning, he's usually there to watch them. Pulls them aside and offers tips. Good thought by Maris. Couldn't quite connect with Lucho. So if John Hutchinson is looking for a more aggressive opening half, and certainly Locomotive provided that in the first 45 Saturday, but not the second 45. So far, so good, though, for Locomotive FC. As you watch this match, is this, you think, what John Hutchinson wants to see?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, the aggressiveness, creating waves of chances. The one part missing, as we know, is it's not been in the back of the net yet. I mean, he even joked the other day that the way he wants it is, even if his own dad was in the goal, he wants the ball to be smashed. Smash the ball as hard as you can to score that goal.
Poor dad.
So, I know, poor dad.
Happy Father's Day, Dad.
But that's the kind of just ruthlessness that he's looking for, and aggressiveness. So the Locomotive are resetting right now, but I mean, that is where they're at.
Abarca on there. Rockbank. Francois. They get him right on that touch line, and he finds more space on that touch line with half of the field taken away than most players do in the open field. Finds ways to move off of the touch line and really challenge. Good ball from Ryan to Sanupe. Sanupe. That's deflected. It'll be out for Locomotive throw.
And see, now with Lucho in up top, Sanupe has played some amazing balls, driven on the ground, but right now, Lights is dropped in. I mean, Lucho is a great aerial target as well. I would not be afraid to find that blonde hair and see what he can do with that head of hair.
Roma. Trejo and Roma. Crisóstomo. Sanupe tripped up, and that is going to be a yellow card on Dekel Kanon. That is a professional foul, is it not, Heidi?
It is. It is. Didn't want to let him get free. They know that he's got that speed that can be dangerous.
Kanon, 37 years old, knew he wasn't going to catch up to Sanupe and left a little foot in. That's the third caution, though, on Las Vegas Lights this half. Wait for this free kick, go back down to Rachel here shortly. As Richie Ryan. Dylan Maris there, Sanupe none the worse for wear. Locomotive once again dominating possession, dominating the passing, looking for the payoff. This is as long as they've gone in the third game of the season. That's Maris with a restart. Scoring a goal, that one gets away from Brockbank. Set back down to Rachel Phillips from War.
Yeah, Duke, you mentioned the aggressive play that Hutch wants to see. Well, he's not the only one who wants to see that aggressive play continue. Both Dylan Maris and Andrew Fox after the game on Saturday saying they want to see the same. Foxy even saying that they were flat and unacceptable at the end of Saturday's game. He wants to see them put in a full performance for the entire game. So it's no surprise that he's been in this game, driving up the middle, driving up the wing as well, and getting the ball aggressively, attacking this Las Vegas Lights team here tonight.
Almaguer, Yusovsky trying to get in the middle, well dealt with. Good work coming back by Maris, and that'll spring the counterattack. Young Diego Abarca. Chews up some space, wants to go back, and that is dealt with by Crisóstomo. Brockbank, though. Abarca's going to get another chance. Boehner. Always a good thought to get it to Cristiano Francois. Fox, Maris. Locomotive probing. Richie Ryan was not where they wanted it to go. Trejo, though, that's done well by Maris, who's been excellent on offense as well as defense. Lucho gets a touch. It's taken out of the play by Lara. And here is Trejo. Step over. Well done by Boehner. Picks his pocket. Matt Boehner, 30-plus years old. And it'll deflect out for a goal kick for Locomotive FC.
Matt Boehner seems to be one of those defenders that they put in just about in any position when there's a need.
32 years old, out of Westchester, Ohio. Boehner playing with the late, great St. Louis FC squad from the championship. All sorts of folks in places through the Midwest. Here these last 3 seasons with El Paso, Texas. Mr. Walkoff. Nobody will forget that stoppage time tying goal versus United last year in Albuquerque. Boehner, nice thought to get it up to Lucho. Lucho, little sombrero to Francois. The Argentine shows the skills. Back and forth, that's going to be offside. Forced the flag up. That was a good thought by Maris. Nice triangle, but Lucho about 3 steps ahead of the last defender.
Lucho definitely wanting that ball more, though. Getting that play started and then just pushing it forward.
Boehner does well again. Ander Abarca. Nicely done to Sanupa. Nowhere to go. It's well shut down by Quesada. Ander and Richie Ryan.
And that's one thing. The Lights have known that, figured it out. You know, Locomotive are dangerous down those wings. So they're dropping in, trying to not let them get that space down the flanks and behind.
No.
Richie Ryan, the veteran Irishman. Sanupe. Ryan again. Intercepted by Crisostomo. Who has it here? Quesada trying to sort out a little possession, and that's not the pass they wanted. Comes straight to Fox, and Maris is on the run. Francois cuts it back in. Ryan. Sanupe. Sanupe to the far post. One time, and that one whipped up and over. Dylan Maris ready to volley that one, but got away from it. And a goal kick coming.
That was a nice look, though, by Sanupe to find the man rather than trying to drive it through. Because, as we said, Las Vegas is dropping numbers. But you know Dylan would like that one back.
To do that on the full volley, that can't be easy.
No. It is not. One of the folks that that put that in the back of the net make it look easy. But, you know, as you saw, even a talented player like Dylan Maris, the next one you get, though, he might put that same ball, bring it down, and finish it.
Lucho, some solid work. Throwing that Lights back line into a Tizius Francois. That's going to be off of Francois for a Lights throw. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC, channel 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access, Tuesday nights at 5 o'clock Mountain, plus your live matches from the USL, Major League Soccer, the Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157, the Sirius XM app. Sorted out by Fox to Francois. Fox to the middle and Maris. Ryan.
Locomotive going from right side back through the middle over to the left and then now back over to the right. I mean, that's great that they're looking to switch the point of the attack back and forth and just find that opening, that one opening to get a chance at goal.
Abarca does well to put that off the feet of Quesada for a Locomotive throw. But Vegas, certainly. Heavily in the back. So what are your initial thoughts about young Mr. 77 out there? Diego Abarca.
He's moved nicely, kind of just fit right in with the rest of the team, kind of playing the role that he's being asked to. And when he's gotten the ball, he's found the right man in the right space to get it to.
Trejo wants a shot. It's deflected in the waiting arms of Evan Newton. Well
and
done.
there he had his mark was Trejo, goal scorer from last week. So he did pretty well to, keep up with him, just give enough pressure so that then he could have help. And just ended in a, keeper.
Easy save.
Easy save.
Up the middle, they were trying to get it to Maris. It's well done by Las Vegas and Lara.
So he's had a pretty good debut for any player, much less a 16-year-old. And I think his parents here tonight.
I'm sure.
His family.
Jose Abarca, late of the El Paso Patriots. Lovely to do a little internet digging and come up with an article I wrote about the Patriots Seattle Sounders USISL game from back in 2002, which included Jose Abarca in the starting lineup. Fox. Good job by Deroma, and Deroma fouled by Francois. To get the lights out of trouble again. But they have sat back deeply tonight. Locomotive still looking for ways to break through. But Enrique Duran of Las Vegas Lights knows what he has to do defensively. Trejo. Back to Trejo from Almaguer. Trejo looking. Up the middle for Cal Jennings. Running down on the far side. Jennings, a sidestep, can't come back around. Well done by Fox in the end for a goal kick. Of course, Enrique Duran taking over for Steve Cherundolo, who is now the head coach for LAFC, with which they maintain a connection. Las Vegas Lights and LAFC, not necessarily a farm club kind of a situation, but he's in his first year, as is John Hutchinson. Well, Rachel Phillips has a little more information on both of those men. Rachel.
Yeah, Duke, obviously both coaches here tonight. This is their first season at the helm of their respective teams. Obviously a little bit different though. John Hutchinson coming by Australia by way of Japan here to coach the Locomotive. Whereas Enrique Duran, he's just stepping up from being the assistant coach at the club last season. He got promoted at the Spain native, so a little bit of a different setup. Obviously, Duran getting to take over a team he's been working with now for a couple of seasons. Hutchinson, on the other hand, coming into a brand new team that he's got to work his magic with, and he's trying to do that here tonight.
Thank you, Rachel. Cut back by Maris. Richie Ryan can't deal with the bouncing ball. Deroma. When they found the feet of Trejo, they've been able to make it forward. Out along that left wing with Almaguer a little bit. Got some things working, but not a whole lot to speak of for Las Vegas offensively tonight.
No, not a whole lot, but they have some of those players that can make things happen 1v1. So Locomotive has to just be aware of where they are, but continue to do keep the pace up and attack.
There. As you hear the drums continuing from 8th notch, here's Andrew Fox. Again, Lights earning a throw, as there you see John Hutchinson. A little bit different for him, obviously, coming to autumn in Australia, as we do spring here in El Paso, like keeping that away from Trejo. Well done by Harry Brockbank. Boehner, Ryan. So, you know, I wouldn't guess you'd had to change the gear a whole lot, depending on where you were. We'll have to talk to Rachel about that. What season is it, and how cold or hot does it get? Australia certainly, Oceania, a continent by itself. Much of that is the nation of Australia. As here is Francois. Well done to receive that. Francois again challenging, 1 versus 2, sends it across. Nobody in black but Sinupe hunting. And safer than sorrier was Alvaro Quesada. Another Chick-fil-A corner.
What a touch to bring that ball down by Francois. And then just the composure to draw those players and said, you know what, I'm just going to nice, gently drive that across the back and forcing Lights to put it out for a corner. So let's see what the Locomotive can do with this.
It's Richie Ryan. In-swinger goes near side, looking for Francois. Harry Brockbank sorting it out to Maris. Fox looking for Maris and put into touch by Lights. Throw in is long. That's onside. Nice cut back and blasted over the bar by Romero, who had to be on it with Dylan Maris.
Dylan Maris was wide open on that throw-in and just did a nice job. Fox finding him and then getting a chance on goal, but
another Chick-fil-A corner.
He would probably like that back instead of putting it up in the air, make it easy for the keeper to get with his hands. I know he's capable of slotting that on the ground.
Ryan again to the far post. Kenan's going to get ahead to that as he takes down Ander in the box. The referee waves his finger. We have 1 minute of equal living stoppage time. Ander's calls for a penalty go unheeded. Fox.
Yeah, they don't leave Maris wide open that time.
Right. Intercepted, and Maris will take this. Well done by Romero to snuff it out. And another push down. That's Lucho and Kenan getting into it. Kenan, you might remember, when he played for Sac Republic, was the man who took down Omar Salgado. This was a couple of seasons ago. Winning Locomotive an important penalty kick. Lucho's not a happy camper. The Argentine with words for our referee. So you see the replay. Aha! Kenan catching Lucho up top. It didn't look deliberate, but again, you're talking those old
arm
hands.
hand.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those old hands like Dekel Kenan. That man's played a lot of football.
They had replay like the NCAA basketball tournament does. It might have been called something after the fact.
Sure. But then we'd have to wait for a replay. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. Ryan, oh, that's well intercepted. Daroma. And that is it for our first half of play. Scoreless after 45 here from Southwest University Park. Both teams with some opportunities. Locomotive certainly has generated more of the chances this evening. With Heidi Mocha and Rachel Phillips, I'm Duke Keith. We'll be back with our GECU halftime report when we continue. You're watching Locomotive Soccer.
Introducing the Casa Pre-Owned Advantage at Casa Kia. It's the advantage of a bigger selection with hundreds of vehicles on the lot and additional inventory online. It's the advantage of easy financing to get you approved, along with a 6-month, 6,000-mile limited warranty included with every vehicle. It's the advantage of our 7-day cashback promise, so you can shop with ease. Casa Kia is more than just great new vehicles. Discover the Casa Pre-Owned Advantage and shop from hundreds of used cars at Casa Kia today.
In Northeast El Paso exists a site honoring America's veterans. Above it, you'll find a line of flags, but you'll notice that one is missing. For 18 years, Old Glory once soared across El Paso skies, but sadly it was removed. This season, El Paso, Texas Flags Across America asks for your help to resurrect our flag to its original glory. As a local nonprofit, we can't do this without the help of our community, so please donate now at www.oldglorymemorial.org. Thank you, El Paso. Ready for the next step in your truck driving career? Arribas Enterprises Incorporated is ready for you. We offer outstanding opportunities in the transportation industry. We offer smiles, flexibility, and an unmatched benefit package for you and your family. Call us today.
Welcome to the GECU Halftime Show. Manage your accounts 24/7 with GECU Online Banking, the GECU mobile app, and GECU ATMs. Learn more at gecu.com.
Welcome back to downtown El Paso, Texas. Our score at the half, Locomotive FC 0 and Las Vegas Lights FC 0. As we take a look at some Western Conference scores from Saturday night, it's San Antonio with an important win over LA Galaxy 2-1. Switchbacks FC off on a winning start as well, 1-0 over 1-0 over Monterey Bay. Orange County SC, the defending USL Championship title holders, 2-1 over Rio Grande Valley. San Diego Loyal, also a winner, 2-0 over Sacramento. El Paso does head to San Diego in 11 days. Don't forget that's on ESPN Deportes. Those two teams have never played each other. San Diego in action tonight, undefeated 2-0 in 2022. We take a look at some of the USL Championship storylines. El Paso with 4 players on international duty. Diego, Siobhan, Eric Calvillo, Cristiano Francois heading out after tonight's game. The other 3 already on the road. Tied within the 11 for most players from a single USL club to represent their nations. 4 from Indy 11, 4 from Locomotive FC. And the championship, featured El Paso's kit launch. And if you haven't seen the video, check it out. Lucho in front of the Star on the Mountain. You need to get on the Locomotive social media pages to see this. The club produced a video with the city aerials, of course, the train tracks to launch El Paso's primary black kit. You can check that out at the Locomotive team store as well. And welcoming League One, Lexington SC, coming in next season. Our score at the half, Locomotive FC 0, Las Vegas Lights 0. More after this.
Stop it. Yo, roll it down. I am.
You don't need a car to listen to Sirius XM. You can listen anywhere. You know that, right?
What? Kevin Hart's laptop.
What? Kevin, you could use your phone.
What? What?
Alexa, play Kevin Hart's Laugh Out Loud Radio on Sirius XM.
What?
This is how I know you're getting old.
What?
Somebody, and for a long, crashing in, there it is! First of the year for San Diego! And it's into the back of the net! El Paso
for a corner and a 10! What a goal!
Welcome back to Southwest University Park. The score in this one, Locomotive 0, Lights FC 0. El Paso Locomotive FC Academy has been a huge part of this year's club, so much so that we even have Diego Abarca as a starter tonight. Head coach and technical director John Hutchinson has been incorporating not only the 10 players on the academy contracts, but other players into training and even taking them on away matches.
Was to make my own opinion up on what I thought was necessary for our squad and the players that stood up and deserved the chance to sign these contracts today. So, and the reason why they're all here, all the young men, is because they deserve it. What I can guarantee you is that the academy system in El Paso, the setup, the way the club looks after these kids is one of the best I've seen through my career of coaching and playing. And what we can guarantee is that we will look after them like they're our sons as well.
I'm very excited to start training with the first team. It's a great experience for me.
They're just there constantly giving you tips on like what to do, and yeah, I think that'll make me grow as a player and as a person.
It was a beautiful experience. It was completely different, something you wouldn't experience, something you didn't think as a little kid you were gonna do.
I would have never thought I'd be playing against those kind of players that played with the national team. It's pretty cool.
Oh, it helps me tremendously. Like, I get an advantage over kids my age that they're maybe not training like this. But yeah, it gives me a lot of hope for the future, and yeah, just getting better.
And tonight we have 7 of the 10 academy players on the field, or I guess there's 5 standing there right now, being recognized at halftime, and the 3 others are in the locker room getting direction as we go. So pretty great experience for these young men to be able to train and get this experience and grow in the game. We have the score right now here in El Paso is 0, Las Vegas 0.
Introducing the Casa Pre-Owned Advantage at Casa Buick GMC. It's the advantage of a bigger selection with hundreds of vehicles on the lot and additional inventory online. It's the advantage of easy financing to get you approved, along with a 6-month, 6,000-mile limited warranty included with every vehicle. It's the advantage of our 7-day cashback promise, so you can shop with ease. Casa Buick GMC is more than just great new vehicles. Shop from hundreds of used cars at Casa Buick GMC today.
This is what it takes. The compassion of farmers milking our healthy cows. The expertise of workers processing our nutritious dairy products. The commitment of drivers transporting our products to your local vendor. Our desire to deliver fresh, pure, and energizing milk and milk products. Sarah Farms, from cow to customer in 24 hours.
Welcome back to downtown El Paso, the West Star Tower at Hunt Plaza. Here on a beautiful Wednesday evening in El Paso, Texas, Duke Keith and Heidi Mocha with you as we continue our GECU halftime show. We'll have a look at the stats and highlights and take a look at our T-Hop employee of the week. But there you have it, 5 total shots on net for Locomotive, or total shots, 2 for Las Vegas Lights, 1 apiece though on frame. The shot accuracy, there you see it, but the passing accuracy, as it has been all season long, Heidi, right up at the top for Locomotive FC, as well as the possession time.
Yeah, I mean, that is what the Locomotive is known for, passing and possession. But the thing, we've created some more shots, but they're not in the back of the net yet. You know, the Locomotive needs to stay out here and stay aggressive and keep doing what they're working on, and they're doing a good job of not getting too much danger in transition from the Lights. Lights haven't been able to really get anything kind of crazy going yet.
Indeed, as we take a look at some of the highlights from our first half of play. Oh, no highlights, so yeah. We'll take a look, though. Let's go to the Hospitals of Providence employee highlight. And Heidi, you've got that news.
Yeah, at this time, we want to recognize the mother-baby team from the Hospitals of Providence Memorial Campus. The team is committed to providing both mom and baby the highest quality of care and ensuring that their special day is a positive experience. A big thank you to the mother-baby team at the Memorial Campus for the incredible care you provide families and their little ones.
Well done. Great work at the Memorial Campus as we are just about ready to get things started here for half number 2. Duke Keith, Heidi Mocha, Rachel Phillips with you. As you take a look at the first half, it's very obvious that teams know that if they can sit back and frustrate, Locomotive looks for ways around it. They, some early opportunities in, say, the opening 8 to 9 minutes. Those have dissipated as the match has gone on. Locomotive looking for a way around. What does John Hutchinson's squad need to do, Heidi, for this second half of play to get success?
I guess, first and foremost, I would say don't allow yourself to get frustrated. Know that the things you're doing is why they're making adjustments. So continue to look for ways. I like how they started to switch the field. They're like, okay, let's cut through the middle, cut across, cut back, and then see if maybe that has allowed us to generate a space down the flank to get the ball served into the box and hopefully in the back of the net.
All right, now we do have the highlights. Let's take a look at our first half of play and some of the bigger moments for Locomotive FC as well as Lights FC. As Richie Ryan, service to the far post. This is a great header by Lucho, falling away. And Fox, you talked about it, man. That's hot pursuit. He wants something. But Trejo, your USL Championship Player of the Week, wants the corner. He won't get it there. Always dangerous Cal Jennings. Did not miss Trejo by much. The flag was up on that play, but Las Vegas certainly dangerous in transition as Musovski just missing out. Great chip by Lucho. That's deflected over. Another Locomotive corner kick after that, but well dealt with. And here is Maris. Sidesteps a couple and puts one that Tomas Romero had to put over the bar. Locomotive has provided all sorts of pressure in this first half of play. Chick-fil-A corner kick after Chick-fil-A corner kick. As we head to our second half, Locomotive has certainly found that success, and I agree with you. Keep doing what you do, because that's the reason Las Vegas Lights hasn't really been able to get anything connected offensively for their part.
Right, and the waves, it's like a waves of attack. Don't let that down. That eventually, if you keep doing that, one's got to go in the back of the net.
Beautiful Wednesday evening and the beautiful lights here at Southwest University Park. How about 8 Chick-fil-A corner kicks to none for Las Vegas Lights, as the Lights certainly up here in downtown El Paso tonight.
And that's where Locomotive, we want to connect on those a little bit more. Lights
right, set pieces that's always a point of emphasis for every team, because it's a free play. You get to do what you want, and the other team has to adjust rapidly. Have they been successful? Have they done, you think, what they've wanted to do, other than put the ball in the back of the net, Heidi?
I think they've done a lot of those things, but I think, Coach Hudson wants more.
Sure. We will see if they are able to get more, as Lights will have first touch here in half number 2. It'll be Musovski to restart play. Underway again for the second half here at Southwest University Park. I don't know if it's a good sign or a bad sign that Locomotive hasn't already scored.
I don't know, but I like seeing Lucho chasing the ball like that. It's good to see him back on the pitch, putting pressure right there.
He's certainly done that all evening long.
And then we've been told him with his blonde do, he, I guess, wanted to always, as a child, dye his hair blonde, and he figured, well, then why not now? Let's just get it done.
Sure. Why not? Almost gets away from Boehner. Good challenge by Jennings, but Boehner able to get that to Fox, trying to settle it in space, but Sunupe nowhere nearby. On there, Ryan, Kanan, back the other way. Newton will wait for that as Danny Trejo comes to say hello. Not to be confused with Machete.
I know.
And certainly John Hutchinson he has to be happy with the effort, but let's find out a little more from Rachel Phillips, what he had to say coming out of the halftime locker room. Rachel.
Yeah, Duke, he was happy in a sense, but he said it's just still too slow, way too many touches on the ball. He said he wants to shorten that up and really create those opportunities moving forward. He said in the halftime break, they're going to talk about how they could do that, find those opportunities and find those gaps moving forward. He did say defensively, though, he was happy with how the team was stopping those transitional plays. He said that's really all the Las Vegas Lights have to offer, and so far they've been great at stopping them. He just wants the team to stay focused and continue to do that.
Jennings earning the Lights' first corner of the night. And off to take it in the far corner is Daniel Crisostomo. Good work by Boehner. They'll play it short. In trying to slice it, Musovski cleared by El Paso, but sent back and wide, and it'll be a goal kick. That's off the foot of Quesada. Right, just connecting more. You heard Rachel talk about what Coach Hutch wanted to see from his team, and certainly the passing has been there, the possession has been there, but again, Locomotive looking for the payoff, which has not yet come. Well done by Maris. Little open space for El Paso's number 10. Wants to go left to Francois. Fox. Francois. To the far post. Abarca, the only Locomotive jersey nearby. Cleared out by Lights, but straight to Ander. And here is Boehner. Locomotive to restart up that left wing. Here's Francois again. To the byline he goes, trying to get the cross. He'll earn a 9th Chick-fil-A corner. It's almost automatic when that man gets loose up the left wing. Either you put it over the byline or he puts it by you.
Exactly.
So far, Las Vegas Lights giving Locomotive 9 Chick-fil-A corner kicks. Has done the former, not the latter. Here is Maris. Ryan there for the short if they want to go that way. Nope. Swinging to the far post, headed out by Kanan. It'll be a Locomotive throw.
Lights have been on the receiving end of most of the service from the Locomotive on those corners. They are getting to the balls first, and that is got to be frustrating.
I'm not sure that they have connected with a Locomotive player on any of the corners they've taken. I would agree with you.
Those are huge opportunities for a team on offense, just not being taken advantage of. Oh, look at that flag.
Maris and Quesada in a battle. Dylan Maris with further discussion. So 9 Chick-fil-A corner kicks, and again, Locomotive has really yet to connect on any one of those. It'll be a free kick here for Las Vegas Lights. Let's head down to Rachel Phillips with further thoughts on that. Rachel?
Yeah, guys, 9 kicks for the Locos, corner kicks that is, and haven't been able to convert on any of them. Las Vegas Lights, though, they're used to stopping those corner kicks. Just last week against Phoenix Rising, they stopped 3 in the stoppage time at the end of the game. Phoenix Rising looking to tie that game up, and they were able to stop all of them. Also, another thing, interestingly enough, about last week compared to this week with the Las Vegas Lights, they had just 40% possession of the ball last week. And here tonight, they haven't had a lot of possession either, but they were able to capitalize in those short, quick moments on transition plays, something big Phoenix, the El Paso Locomotive are trying to stop here tonight. And so far, they've been able to do it, but watch for the Vegas Lights to try and capitalize off some transition plays as the game goes on tonight.
They have the opportunity, and so far, Locomotive, I agree with Rachel. She's done a great job, or they've done a great job keeping Lights away from all of that.
Right. Well, Lights just they earned that corner kick on one of those transitions, that first corner that they did earn.
Sure.
That is I think where they've been able to be dangerous last week, and they're looking to be potentially this week.
Rachel has been doing a great job. We appreciate that. Here's Francois to the byline. Cuts it back. It's deflected. Fox will leave it for Ryan. Richie Ryan looking for the top corner. One a little taller than that. Now, if this was rugby, which I know Rachel is very familiar with, that might have been a pretty good play, because that looked like it was a shave inside the bar. Richie Ryan, which in his 4 seasons here has never scored a goal for Locomotive FC. It's not his job. He has scored on penalties, notably against New Mexico United in the playoff match here, but has never put one in the run of play. There's Francois trying to find Fox. You could tell the thought going through Cristiano Francois' mind. Bjorschel, who's had his hands full with El Paso's number 23 tonight, does well enough there. Notch keeps the drum beat going. Oh, that gets loose. Trejo all the way, sending it across and in transition, just that fast. Cal Jennings knocks it home. It's 1-0 to the visitors. Trejo with a bounce up near midfield. Enrique Duran and Las Vegas Lights loves it. A lead on the road in their first road match for Lights FC. Scuffed off the bottom of his boot, but it was enough.
Yeah, ball just in behind the defense, is trying to recover, and Jennings does what he's supposed to do, just knocks it into the back. But Trejo, broke free on that flank, just a little bit, hoping to steal a ball instead of delay, and Locomotive can't get back and delay it, and ends up with a goal against him in the transition.
Transition moments, always key, especially with a team that likes to play high with lots of pressure like Locomotive. And again, it's the USL Championship Player of the Week, making something happen up that left wing side. I mean, the challenge came at midfield, and then he was just gone. Knocked down, and here's Trejo again. Trejo tipping, and it's another goal. Found Newton off his line, and it's 2-0 Las Vegas. Golazo for Vegas's number 10, Danny Trejo, in the 55th minute. The goal separated by less than 2.
That was a quick turnaround.
And Danny Trejo, they are dancing in the Las Vegas Lights FC sideline.
Yeah, and that's a heads-up play by Trejo to see, and then just put that ball just out of reach and into the back of the net.
The 23-year-old, certainly a heady player. We knew that coming in, but that's something to have your head up and see where Evan Newton was and just let fly.
And I do think that this season we've seen the Locomotive keeper playing a lot higher out. That is a strategy that they've got to be using, because goalkeepers don't just play, close to home or further out. They're really, I think, trying to use him as, an 11th field player. But that's one of the dangers that you can get when you got a striker that can do that. Unfortunately, he made them pay.
Let me be honest here. As here's Jennings, and he scores a third. It bounces out 3-0 in the span of 5 minutes. In the 56th, Jennings with a brace. It bounced right to him, and Locomotive is reeling here at the swap. Minutes 53, 55, and 56 have put Las Vegas Lights ahead 3-0.
Yeah, Jennings got the ball, that much room, and he's not afraid to pull the trigger.
On the restart, we'll have some substitutions first for Locomotive FC. Let's head down to pitch side and Rachel Phillips to tell us more. Rachel.
Yeah, guys, obviously not the way the Locomotive wanted to start this half. They actually, after that second goal, Hutch called for substitutions. You've got 5 guys about to come on right now. You've got Hines, Zacharias, Coutinho, Borelli, as well as Yuma, all about to come on the pitch right now and hopefully turn things around for the Locomotive here, down 3-0 right now.
So, for Locomotive FC here in minute 58, the quadruple substitution. Always triple, let's see. It will be Diego Abarca coming off. He is replaced by another academy player. Noé Coutinho making his professional debut. So one academy player for another, and Yuma in as well as Ricardo Zacarias and Nick Hines. So 4 substitutions in a very different look, but Locomotive, have they dug the hole too deep? They've got to find something offensively. That's a good lead ball. Maris trying to run underneath it. Does well to put one in, and there it's a shot and a goal. Hines, seconds on the pitch. Gets one back for Locomotive FC. All made possible by the hustle of Dylan Maris.
That is a great way to respond. That we would call aggressive.
I
right,
would say
Coach Hutch?
so.
Still doesn't make him feel that good because it's still down 3-1, but look at the pressure by Coutinho and Hines slotting into the back of the net.
Both of them just on. But again, that ball came from the right side, and Dylan Maris, who ran it down in the corner, that was made possible by El Paso's
Maris
number
played
10.
it across, keeper could not hang on to it, and then Coutinho pressure, and Hines coming in to make sure that it's not left hanging.
And here is Yuma.
And we get to see Yuma finally for this year.
Yuma playing at center back. Trying the chants from the crowd. Let me address, I think that it's very unfair to Evan Newton to receive the greeting he's been getting from Locomotive FC, but here again, another turnover in transition. And again, scooted in and another goal. It's another brace for Danny Trejo, just run down by Masovsky, and it's 4-1. Trejo with a brace. Jennings with a brace. And Locomotive just can't sort it out.
And that, it's hard. We've talked about it in, I think, the pregame, about having lost part of the preseason to COVID, having players came in late, just trying to find that organization. That can be a really tough piece to come together, and I think Locomotive, we're getting to see that.
And here is Maris again. Maris again, and sails one just about 2 feet over the bar. He did not miss by much.
No, he did
but
not.
Dylan Maris taking it on his shoulders to make something happen for Locomotive FC. As we see the footwork of number 10, leaving 2 players down on the pitch. And a high line here for El Paso. Lots of pressure. Noé Coutinho
Lights, on the back line of Locomotive, they are like, hey, we are not afraid to get in a foot race. They don't. They're going to keep pushing that.
All I was about to say before that fourth goal, 4 goals aside, and that's ugly enough, but this is the way that they want Locomotive to play soccer, and booing Evan Newton is not going to do a darn thing. Here's Hines. In it comes and it put over the byline. It'll be another Chick-fil-A corner kick. 10th Chick-fil-A corner coming up for El Paso.
So El Paso is used to winning throughout the regular season and then making it to the playoffs and wanting to get, wins there too. So it's hard. It's hard to have a new coach, new system, new players. It doesn't always feel good.
Right.
But what you have to look is, can they find improvement between now and moving to the next part of the season, and then to the final part of the season, and then from there, do you do well enough? You need to do well enough to make the playoffs, and then it's tournament time. Then it's win or die, and that's where you want to be peaking at the tournament time. As long as you can improve through the season and win enough to make that playoffs.
Newton out to challenge, keeps it away from Jennings.
Although we all love winning. Winning is a lot of fun, but you have to look at it from the whole season, the whole body, especially if you're not getting the results in the wins and losses.
And Ed Morelli on as well, as he replaces Andrew Fox. Hines, Maris, back to Hines, and a little too far over his head. Goal kick coming. Substitution now for Lights. For Las Vegas Lights, Roberto Molina in for Jorge Almaguer. Here in the 64th minute. And it was great work for El Paso's goal. You saw Noe Coutinho. He and Nick Hines had been on the pitch for less than a minute, and they're right in the thick of it. Hines, of course, gets the goal, but that made possible in part because of Coutinho's footwork and getting into the thick of it. Sit down to Rachel Phillips for more on that, because that was a solid effort by another academy player.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Duke. Obviously, a lot happening in these last few minutes. We've got 4 goals, 5 goals actually, as well as so many players substituting on for both the Locomotive and the Lights here tonight. Tough not to acknowledge Noah Coutinho, though. He's been on the bench all 3 games this season, and tonight finally getting to make his debut, as you guys would say, debut for the El Paso Locomotive.
Well done, Rachel Phillips, of course, an Australian native herself, and it is debut. 11th Chick-fil-A corner kick, as Solignac's effort was deflected. And here is Maris. Headed to the far post and in! Ricardo Zacarias brings another one back for Locomotive. You want goals? We got them.
But the Locomotive got on the other end of that corner kick, finally, and then they kept it alive and got it in the back of the net.
I think you're right. I think that's the first corner kick they've won tonight. And look at the dividend it yields. And again, that's hustle. Ander is going to get the assist. Maris, excellent service. Ander to nod it back in for Zacarias, who opens his Locomotive account in the 65th minute. Well, two goals looks a little better than 3, doesn't it, in terms of deficits? Yuma. Maris again. Maris is on a mission. What a sombrero chip. Hines. Hines to the byline, trying to get one in, and that is a goal kick. He lost it over the back end. So Tomas Romero, the keeper's very busy from minutes 53 onward.
Very busy.
Romero ready to settle things down a little bit with a goal kick. course, the chant emanating from the crowd tonight is El Chuco. Pardon me, Los Locos. El Chuco was the chant, which is the Pachuco nickname for El Paso, Texas, but Locos kind of works a little better as the two vets getting tangled up. Richie Ryan.
Yuma's ready to play that ball fast.
Sure.
Say, okay, we'll leave all you here. We're going to go down the pitch.
Bjorshol. Getting tangled with the Irishman from Oslo, Norway is Morten Bjorshol. He is a veteran at the age of 24 with this roster dotted with teenagers and young men in their early 20s. Still, though, for Locomotive FC, work to do, and that pass won't quite do it. Intercepted, and that's going to be a foul and a booking. Harry Brockbank taking down Manny Trejo. It will be a Texas Tech nod to the dock. So into the book goes Harry Brockbank. th minute caution for El Paso's number 2. Brockbank again. We should point this out as well. This is basically his 3rd week in El Paso.
Yeah,
it took a while for him to get here and had about a week's worth of training camp before the season started.
He showed up and got put in the match.
Welcome. Here you go. It'll be a free kick for Lights. Earned by Musovski. He's getting tangled with Lucho. Yuma ever helpful to get the game going again. As there you see Lucho back again, the Argentine.
Trejo is kind of just poaching right there in that little area. I'm not happy with. Okay, somebody.
Chrysostom on the restart. Swinger to the far post, knotted down, and a save by Newton. Took it right off the head of Alejandro Lara. Trying to get it restarted quickly.
And those are the kind of things that Newton also needs to happen after having, I mean, a lot of the goals were well scored, you know?
They
Not
really
much
were.
he could do. So you need a couple feel good, more routine saves.
Lucho, nicely done. And it's Brockbank! Top netting! It's 4-3. Locomotive within a goal.
And he looked like he knew exactly what he was going to do when he got that ball. Touch forward, another prep, and a shot into the back of the net.
Goodness gracious me.
Attack from the back.
Harry Brockbank. Bolton, England take a bow.
Great ball over. That first touch just set him up to beat the defender, and then what a perfect strike.
70th minute goal by Harry Brockbank, and it's 4-3 all of a sudden. I wonder what John Hutchinson thinks about all of that. Let's head down to
Let's
Rachel
hear that
Phillips.
from Rachel.
See if she's overheard anything. Rachel?
What a game we have on our hands here tonight. I don't think any of us would have thought this coming out of the heart that we'd be seeing 7 goals so quickly. Really interesting Hutch's reaction to those last couple of goals. You'd think he'd be cheering, maybe even a fist bump in the air. There's been none of that. He's just looked at the goal, walked away, and bowed his head a little bit. So no animation from Hutch here. I think he's still very much in this game, wanting to see these guys get the win here tonight, or at least tie it up. He actually, before the 3rd goal there, he was talking to a bunch of the guys, Brockbank, Yuma, about what they could do to get this win just from the sidelines here. So look for more goals, hopefully, from the Locomotive here tonight.
Well, geez, 70 minutes from 53 to 70. That's 7 goals. 17 minutes. Goodness gracious, and another substitution coming for Lights FC. maybe more than one. It appears Julian Gaines is about to make his way onto the pitch. He will replace Daniel Musovsky, who's put in a pretty good shift tonight. Here in minute 72. I feel like the gladiator, though. Are you not entertained?
Oh, yeah.
Goodness gracious.
Someone had asked us how many goals we thought would happen in this match. I don't think 7 at this point would have been a number we would have bet
That's
on.
Incredible. Cal Jennings is also off the pitch. Mohamed Traore replaces him. So the double substitution for Enrique Duran's squad. Jennings leaves the pitch with a brace in the 72nd minute. The fans getting into it now. Locomotive. Still 18 minutes plus stoppage time to make something work. We headed back for Newton. Borelli, former team captain for FC Juarez Bravos, south of the border here, Locomotive sister squad, all a part of the Mountain Star Sports Group. Ander. Back and forth with Brockbank. Ander taken down, and that's taken away. And in it comes for another shot and another goal. Flag stays down. Julian Gaines just on the pitch. It's 5 for Las Vegas Lights FC. 73rd minute, Locomotive in transition. Caught out again. Second time tonight, Trejo has played helper. And it is 5 for the visitors. Yuma waiting for the flag, and that is, I'm not sure he could have caught up to him in regardless, but that was not one shining moment for El Paso's defense.
No, and it's hard to play, count on the offsides on not to get caught on a transition at least once, you know.
Here's Hines. We ain't done yet. Hines 1 against 3. That's a good chip by Zacarias, but finally controlled and cleared by Bjorschel. And here is Trejo, still running. Fresh legs. Gets by Ander. Trejo draws the contact from Lucho, who will be called for the foul and may go into the book. Indeed he will. This is the most goals this Locomotive team has ever conceded in a match. And there's still 15 minutes left. '75th minute. Lucho going into the books. And not the way he wanted to.
No. But
I'm running out of space on my score sheet to keep track of all of this.
okay, this is giving Locomotive time. They need to sort out this dead ball play though.
And here's the restart. Whipping ball cleared out by Ander. It'll be a Lights throw. Crisostomo's been the set piece deliverer all match long. Well, for Lights FC, you have to say that they probably never thought they'd be here necessarily, not with 5 goals. Advantage played as Lucho's taken down hard. Borelli trying to sort it out, plays it back to Yuma. Ryan, that'll be taken away. Oh, Zacarias with an absolute tackle. What do you think Locomotive's bench thinks of all of this? We'll find out from Rachel Phillips right now. Rachel?
Yeah, Duke, obviously, after that 5th goal, the bench pretty disappointed. Matty Barner actually got up and walked behind the bench, just did a couple of circles, a couple of laps, had his hands on his head. Very disappointed to see that goal go in, obviously, because now Loco is just 2 goals behind the Lights. Prior to that goal, they were just 1 behind and looking and hoping to score a goal and tie it all up. John Hutchinson also pretty disappointed, his hands up in the air, the most animated we've seen him, certainly for the second half.
Yuma. Borelli into space for Hines, is around his man. Hines serving it in, and it's gobbled up by Tomas Romero. Coutinho in the vicinity.
With that is what the Locomotive has kind of not been doing as much. That was a quick transition, limited number of touches, get it up front, turn the corner, and play it across. And if they could do more of that, they could create quicker, more chances. And that's what they need. They need to create the chances and you know, get them into the back of the net. I mean,
here's Zacarias. Ryan. Yuma. Great to have the Spaniard back on the pitch for El Paso. Here's Hines. Ryan. Brockbank scored an absolute dazzler. And here's Hines again. Well worked by Locomotive FC. Hines the cross that is lifted. It's off of Eder Borelli. Cleared out by Lights. Evan Newton way off his line. And again, folks wondering, that is the way they are playing by design. Richie Ryan. Borelli. Over the bar it goes. Former Mexican Youth International. Takes his crack, and why not?
And we haven't had too much to say about this, but you know where I'm going to go with that. On frame.
On frame.
On frame.
Yes, I know. Locomotive hasn't necessarily been profligate with it. It's not like they're spraying balls all over the place, but
no.
I think the corner kick situation where they finally got a goal on the first connection they actually made off the corner is a very salient point. Here's Ryan trying to get it up to Zacarias.
And then Lucho has not, I mean, when especially if like Hines gets the ball on that flank, if he does not have someone in front of goal's feet, he needs to look for Lucho in the air. I mean, he is capable of putting it in with his head or bringing it down, you know, with his chest on his foot, multiple ways to then attempt to get that ball on goal. He's a leading goal scorer for a reason for us for last season.
Hines, Yuma. Put it into space. Borelli does well to keep it in.
Yeah.
Yuma. The Irishman, Richie Ryan. Brockbank. Lights is settled in. Locomotive trying to break them down. Dummy pass by Brockbank to Lucho. Ander. Locomotive dancing around the target, trying to find a way in. Zacarias chips one. Nicely done to Brockbank, tries to send it further and gets intercepted. Lost by Traore. Out for a Locomotive throw.
But I have to say, like, all that possession, and there was not a chance on goal yet. Earlier in that possession, I would have liked them to get it to Lucho and not out on the flank, but at least in the 18-yard box, you know, or one of the other strikers.
Hines adjudged to have fouled, and Las Vegas Lights certainly in no hurry to restart things, as we're about to enter the 82nd minute. Don't miss a minute of action in 2022, whether your club is on the road or at home. Catch nearly every second of USL Championship action on ESPN Plus, home to the USL, MLS, La Liga, the Bundesliga, UFC, and more. Sign up today at plus.espn.com. I have my subscription, and I mean, there is footy all day, every day, including the championship. Here's Ryan. Well, if this game has shown anything, it's that we're not done yet. Let's see if Locomotive has some answers offensively. Zacarias, the Las Cruces native. That's too hard for Coutinho. Senior at Franklin High, 18 years old. He's the oldest academy player on the roster tonight. Diego Garcia, Diego Abarca, who started, both 16. But again, I think between Abarca and Coutinho on the pitch now, Heidi, I don't know what your thoughts are, but I think they've accorded themselves well tonight.
Yeah, their debuts have been, what they've done on the pitch has been respectable, and I definitely would see Coach looking to see how they might be able to play a part on the field in the future.
Here's Yuma. Ryan going for that, but not able to get there is Molina. Well worked, Locomotive FC. Coutinho, nice cutback, rolls it into space, a little too tall for Brockback. Good thought by the teenager. But certainly the speed of the game has got to be very, very different from academy to pro. That's a big leap, isn't it?
I'm sure it is, but that's the advantage that they have in that Coach Hutchinson has them training with the first team, attending friendlies, being out there on the bench for matches. So, you know, it might be their first minutes in a match, but they've, you know, gotten a taste of it before.
Thrown in. Ander to Yuma. Spain to Spain. Yuma wearing the captain's armband now. Maris still out there trying to make the magic happen. Give and go. Coutinho. And in that respect, I mean, the decision making has got to come, but certainly Daniel Crisostomo was ready for the young man to make a play. It's almost like one touch and you've got to get rid of it, don't you?
Oh, yes. You got to know where you're going to play before you get that ball.
Here's Maris, Hines. Locomotive all around it, but not in it just yet. Ander. Yuma. Ander again. Locomotive has brought everybody up. Brockbank serves one in. Zacarias getting a foot to it. Maris does well to get a piece. Ander to Yuma. Switch to Brockbank. Yuma. Borelli and Yuma. Little opening. Ander intercepted. Well done. In front of that was Trejo. Combination with Molina. Broken up by Ryan. Running low for Locomotive. Sliced out. It'll be an El Paso throw. Somebody's going to have to retrieve that from Santa Fe Street. Richie Ryan. Yuma.
Locomotive's doing a nice job of keeping possession here, but they're within striking distance. They need to get a player that is going to pull the trigger.
Zacarias trying to get there to do exactly that. Just loose of Maris. And it was well done to Roma. Locomotive throw. And now what do we have? Tempers flaring. Eder Borelli, who's going to earn a caution and gets shoved down by Daroma. And all hell is broken loose for Brandon Stevens, who's got some work to do. Stevens keeps the caution aloft. I am assuming for Borelli, but I haven't seen anyone else receive a yellow. Lights player still down on the pitch. That's Gaines. So as far as I know, it's Eder Borelli in minute 87. The pushing and shoving still going on. Hines. Getting involved as well, and we'll see if anybody else received a caution when we get word. Let's see. Borelli trying to take it away, and obviously the frustrations getting the better, but that is a straight rip to the chops there by Daroma. Did Daroma receive a card? We're watching the replay. Daroma is going to be sent off here in the 88th minute. So Daroma's night is done. Borelli earns the caution, but then Daroma, who's still pushing and shoving, delivered a straight shot to the chops of Eder Borelli. Frank Daroma. The Freetown Sierra Leone.
Emotions are at an all-time high right now for
Lights will make a substitution here in the 89th. I think we're going to see plenty of equal living stoppage time. Coming off the pitch, number 10, Danny Trejo, as we see that. Yuma, oh my, look at that look in Yuma's eye. Christopher Jaime on to replace Trejo.
the Lights have been content to, sit back and going down to man. They're not going to have any difference in their strategy, I'm sure. But this Locomotive opportunity with, for sure, a man up.
Well, Locomotive, can this be what opens the lock for one more? Zacarias fouled. Quick restart to Yuma. Maris, who's been a threat all night long. Borelli. Served in, looking for it is Coutinho. It's a good job to stay home by Lara.
We saw last season Borelli with some amazing service and assists.
Brockbank. On there, Ryan. Maris has a go. It is wide, not on frame. That was for you.
Thank you. I knew that. I heard it and I said, oh.
We are hearing there will be 5 minutes of added time. Eco Living stoppage time. On the restart, it is 5 minutes.
But this is where, and really, strategy that the philosophy that I like to play, I think would work with Hutch's system is when you get the ball, are you in a position to shoot? If you're not, get to somebody immediately that's in a position to shoot. And then if you're not, keep possession. And that, I think, is where less touches would get them there sooner, get them in a more dangerous position sooner.
Here's Zacarias. Do you think that they've been in positions to shoot but have not pulled the trigger? Have you seen that?
Yes, but there's also the guys with the ball aren't the ones that usually are going to shoot from that place.
Sure.
So you got to get it to the feet of somebody that's willing to shoot from that position.
Lucho to Maris, who is certainly ready, and he scores!
There you go.
On cue! Dylan Maris rolls one into the left corner. It's 5-4. But of course,
he's been fighting for one for a while now. You can visibly see the sense of urgency that he has, that he's had for this entire match.
Dylan Maris has been the driving force to keep Locomotive afloat in this match. His second of the season. At a critical time, Locomotive had to get something right then.
But who, I mean, he's saying, I'm willing to put it on my back and take the responsibility to take the shot. When you make a pass and you decide, I'm just going to keep possession when you're in a position that you should have taken a shot, that's passing on the responsibility. That's not being unselfish. That is not taking the responsibility. He took that responsibility. He wants it. He's ready.
Brockbank, service, just missing Lucho. Here is Maris, sombrero, fires another one and it's just wide. My goodness. Dylan Maris. Around 3 minutes of equal-living stoppage time remaining. Coutinho urging Tomas Romero to get on with it. The man from Zionsville, keeping Locomotive within striking distance of at least a point. And sliced. Gaines trying to turn, well done by Borelli. Yuma, a little head fake. Good work on Molina. Ander and Brockbank. Zacarias. Yuma almost looked like he was trying to use the ref as a screen there for a second. Ander. Brockbank. Ryan. Maris again. Ryan. Is there one more goal left for Locomotive FC? Coutinho. Hines. 1 against 3. When you are looking at a jam-packed defense, I mean, Las Vegas Lights, it's basically a 5-5. As that's taken away and cleared out by Las Vegas. How hard is it to find those little spaces to get it to a playmaker, to get it to the foot of somebody who's going to try a shot?
Oh, absolutely. It can be tricky to get through all of that, packing it in.
Solid work, Zacarias. It's going to be Romero there first.
But remember, the room for error by the defense is tiny as well. So if you can, the position of your body or receiving the ball, you need to know what you're planning to do already. Are you going to get a shot? You're going to turn and shoot? You're going to knock it to your teammate? And then also, are you side on? Like, how are you receiving the ball? You're giving yourself more options. So, there's ways to make your play a little bit quicker.
Flag stays down.
But the Locomotive is, they're Las Vegas is keeping Locomotive in front of them, and I wouldn't mind Locomotive sending it wide and sending it across the flank when they do collapse, and they aren't giving that space centrally.
Seconds remain. Can Locomotive get something? That from Yuma trying to find Maris. Second effort, Borelli. Borelli to Maris. On the run, Dylan Maris taken down. And a free kick awarded. And a caution issue. Lights protesting. But a very, very dangerous free kick coming. It'll be Traore put into the book in stoppage time.
And that looked like Maris was either going to make it through and look to get another strike, hopefully on in the back of the net, or he's going to draw a foul. I mean, that's kind of what he does best. It's hard to get that ball off of his foot.
Yuma with a little pep talk for El Paso's number 10, who has scored from positions similar to this before.
And Locomotive needs to be sure if he gets this thing on frame, or there's a deflection, or whether it be the post or the keeper, someone's there to clean it up.
Is there a moment of magic left in this one? Why not? We've seen 9 goals already. Dylan Maris going to the near post and over. And that is going to do it for the game. What a thrill ride we have seen here at Southwest University Park. But once again, Locomotive FC on the wrong end of it. 5-4 the final. Las Vegas Lights FC earning their second win against one loss. Locomotive still trying to bust out of the cellar. They'll try to do it on the road versus San Diego Loyal come April 3rd. That one will be televised by ESPN Deportes. But as you see Richie Ryan and Yuma embracing, looking for a way out of that, and it's not easy, is it?
It is not easy. I mean, to come back and put that many goals after you're down, I mean, that's a positive place to be, but organization and transition and a little urgency on attack.
5-4 to Lights FC over Locomotive FC. Back with a post-game show when we continue after this. Welcome back to Southwest University Park. You see the scoreline, Las Vegas Lights FC 5, El Paso Locomotive FC 4. As we have our estrella of the match, that will be Nick Hines, who scored seconds after coming on, as we'll send it down to Rachel Phillips with our estrella of the match.
Locos fans, your Australia of the match is Nick Hines. Nick, obviously a really tough loss out there tonight. But you guys were down 3 goals and you were able to kind of come back. What was the key to turning things around and giving yourselves a chance to get back in the game?
Yeah, so the game's never done until the final whistle is blown. So, you know, coming off the bench, all we wanted to do was just give energy, you know. We had hope.
For yourself, obviously you came off the bench within about a minute. You scored a goal there. What was going through your mind and what?
We'll handle the rest.
This is your first season with the Locomotive. You heard the crowd here tonight, your second game here. How have you found it so far, and what do you think of this crowd?
Yeah, I love it here. Fans is always good to have, especially in tough times right now, but we'll definitely get it back.
Nick Hines, your Australia of the match. Thanks so much, Nick. We wish you well with your next game. That is your Australia of the match, Nick Hines. Obviously a tough loss tonight for the Locomotive, but they're back in action very soon, looking to get their first win on the board.
Thank you so much, Rachel. We appreciate that. Nick Hines, gracious in defeat for Locomotive FC. You saw the flashes, though, Heidi. What does it take? What is it going to be for Locomotive FC to kind of get back into things?
Well, I mean, I think Nick Hines started with saying that with them coming on, they knew they had to give energy and they had to have hope. It's never over till the final whistle's blown. Let's watch their goals here.
How about Coutinho? Again, he and Hines had just come onto the pitch. Virtually their first touches of the match. Hines getting one back. Again, that was made possible by Dylan Maris, Ricardo Zacarias as well. Harry Brockbank with an absolute smash from the edge. And then Dylan Maris himself gets to take a bow. Sneaks one between a couple of players. Kanan left scratching his head along with Mohamed Traore. But 4 goals was not enough tonight.
No. And Locomotive had 11 corner kicks. 11 until they finally got connected on one, and pulled a goal out of that. It's like those are opportunities to get ahead, and that urgency has to be before the Locomotive get down. They have to gain confidence in that. Look how many goals they were able to put under pressure to get in the back of the net, and they're gonna figure out the transition. They have to figure out the transition on defense.
They have to.
That is something they're gonna have to do, but to know that they can put those goals in the back of the net, that can be like probably the best defense for them right now is to get the goals, to get started and gain that confidence, give them a little bit of a buffer.
So 5-4 your final score. Las Vegas Lights FC earning their second win of the season against one loss. Locomotive falling to 0-3, still looking to dig their way out. And again, next match is as we do our physical play of the game, brought to you by Physical Hand and Therapy Centers. Let's take a look for Locomotive FC and see what we have. Oh, Matt Boehner. Indeed, that is just great work on the USL Championship Player of the Week, no less. Danny Trejo, who did score a brace, taken to task there by the 32-year-old from Ohio. Outstanding work.
And that's
Your
where defenders need to be smart there, because he's in the box. He stood him up. One misstep, and they're going to give a free kick and a PK in the box. So he did a great job there to win that ball.
Outstanding as we look through downtown El Paso tonight from Southwest University Park. And again, Saturday, April 9th, you see right there with our man, Mr. Sanupe, telling you when the next home match is going to be, post-match fireworks show. As we do our Brian Birds moving into the next match, which will be on the road for the first time ever. Locomotive FC versus San Diego Loyal. That will be April the 3rd, the first time these two teams face each other. And for Landon Donovan, of course, U.S. men's national team all-time great, it'll be the first time Locomotive has been able to face him, Heidi.
Yeah, and the Loyal are playing tonight as well, but so far they are undefeated, so really looking like the Western Conference is going to be a battle for all of these teams.
That's going to be a 3 o'clock kickoff. You will be able to watch that on ESPN Deportes in Spanish and, of course, ESPN Plus in English. Locomotive FC falling tonight by 1 goal again. But it's Las Vegas Lights and El Paso Locomotive putting on a show, a 9-goal tilt as Locomotive FC looks to get back on the winning track here in the next week and a half. We'll see you come April the 9th, but until then, for Heidi Mocha, for Rachel Phillips, for our producer and executive producer, Juan Gutierrez, our director, Cesar Ruiz, I am Duke Keith from Southwest University Park. So long, everybody.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.